Welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan. I'm joined with my big bro. He's also known as the coach. He is a coach on the basketball court, but also in the stock markets as well. And boy, do we got a great show for you today. You know, a lot of podcasts, they'll give you something to take away. Some will help you make money. Some will help you get in shape. Some will make you laugh. We got something better than all that. We actually will share with you the source of all of our hope, the source that has solved every one of our problems. And it's a source that you can have as well. And we're going to share about our unapologetic faith in Christ. Now, this show will have lots of sports takes, high-end sports analysis from us. We'll give you our best. Yeah, that's right. But we'll also share about how our sports and faith have collided and how our faith is so important to help us out of the mud, help us out of every storm and challenge we've ever been in. So tune in, check it out. Coach, why don't you give them a little rundown of what's going on today?
Awesome. Yeah. As always, we're going to start off with our quick hitters, flip into how we did last week in our NFL picks, look at week 15. We got a double dip on Monday night, which is always interesting. Checking out NBA Cup, which is happening starting on Tuesday as we head into the semis and then the finals. And last but not least, our favorite part of the show, talking about what do you treasure? Why don't you start us off with our first quick hitter piece here?
All right, Juan Soto finally signs a 15-year, $765 million contract with the New York Mets.
Man got paid. Scotty Barnes went down with a sprained right ankle Monday night. Unfortunately, no timetable for the return.
College football playoff. We'll see Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State with first-round byes. Unbelievable.
Contentious. The LA Galaxy defeated the New York Red Bulls 2-1 last weekend to win the MLS Cup.
And the New York Yankees are signing Max Fried to an 8-year, $218 million contract, largest guarantee ever for a left-handed pitcher. Before we go anywhere else, let's handle some business. Check out our brand new Shopify store. If you like to shop online, if you like great deals, and you also want to support the show, this is the way to do it. Check out the sportsrevs.com. It's sportsrevs.com. It's in the description of our YouTube page or wherever you are tuning in, and you will find the best deals on a lot of fitness items, a lot of electronic items, and they'll be shipped directly to you. You're not going to find better deals anywhere else. Check it out, sportsrevs.com, and you will also be supporting us as we continue on with this great show. All right, Coach, back to you.
All right, remember, Christmas is coming. Check out the Shopify store. How do you think we did last week? I felt so we were gonna do okay. What did you feel?
I thought we were going to finish above 500, but how did we do?
We did not finish above 500. We were 2-3. We had a good call with Detroit, which was a nail biter. Buffalo, the Buffalo Rams game was great, but the Rams still won, so we got lost on that one. Seattle did not come through. We took an L on that. The Chiefs, another tight one for the dub. And your beloved Cowboys fumbled the game away. And most likely their playoff contention for this year.
What a horrible way to end the game.
Not great. Yeah, not great. I will say this. My fantasy team was absolutely terrible this weekend. I'm surprised I won, but I think Josh Allen put up almost 50 points, and that accounted for approximately half of my total points. So thank you, Josh Allen.
Touchdowns, performance.
Unreal.
3 rushing, 3 throwing. Unreal. And they still lost the game, though. Wow, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a crazy game. All right, so week 15. For those of you who are in fantasy, it's start of the playoffs. I think you are number 2 in our fantasy football league.
I squeezed in number 2. That's right.
I'm in the toilet bowl side, but it's okay. Maybe we'll have double championships. Who knows? Chandon's pull it out. So this upcoming week we have the Rams at the Niners.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that one?
That's a tough game again. I think the 49ers
Ooh,
are just a little bit. I know they had a really good last week, but
they did.
I
They
still
did.
think they are there's just a lot of trouble in paradise there. This is such a huge game in so many levels.
Yep.
It's also hard to
Yep.
take this Rams team too because they're so up and down. I don't know what are your thoughts? I can't pick yet. Convince me one way.
That's tough. The hometown bias for liking the Niners is there. If they win, that means they draw 7-7, have the same record as the Rams, and I think they would have the tiebreak as well.
Wow.
However, after last week's game, it's hard to discount what the Rams are doing. But it's that, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm saying the 49ers come through. I think the 49ers come through. They're in their home. I think they're at home. So let's pull for the 49ers. I think we'll see some guys come back, and yeah, let's. I'm going with that. I'm going with the 49ers. I'm picking them. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm with you on that. I think next week we'll see that division have 3 teams, 7-7, and the Seahawks will be 8-6. So it's that's crazy. What a wild NFC West.
It's
Okay, I'm with you. San
yeah.
Fran, let's go.
Okay, so let's just go to the next thing. You're thinking G-Bay over Seattle?
I'm
You thinking
taking
Seattle's going to win that
G-Bay,
game?
come back, bounce back
Okay.
after that tough loss. I think Seattle's one of those teams that are fake good. I do not trust Geno Smith.
Mm.
I do like their weapons. I do not like their defense. Yeah, I'm totally with Green Bay trouncing Seattle.
Ooh, trouncing. I like it because I mean this is a tough schedule for the Seahawks. After Green Bay, they have the Vikings coming to town, the Bears, which is going to be a paced game potentially, and then the Rams, which could be the division clincher.
Hmm.
So they kind of need to win 3 of 4 here, I think, to really wrap it up and secure their spot. So it could be a tough ask for sure. Another big game, Buffalo at Detroit.
Potential Super Bowl
I think
preview. What do you think?
potentially, I I I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I
Wow.
think Detroit. I feel Detroit, with the squeaker already, has pretty much locked up what they need to do to get into the playoffs. This could be kind of a game where they say, you know what, we're 12-1. We lose one, no big deal. We're still doing fairly good. Detroit has the Bears, Niners, and Vikings all coming up, and the Vikings game would be pretty big, potentially. So I'm picking Buffalo. I think Josh Allen comes through, and that's my limb. I'm really stretching for this one, but I think Buffalo comes through.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Uh, Buffalo is definitely more desperate for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
I will say that. Yeah, okay, I'll go with you on Buffalo. I think it's a toss up,
Okay.
and
Yeah, for sure.
but Buffalo will be more desperate. And if they don't win this game, that means they definitely are not. They don't have zero. They have zero chance of winning the AFC. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
let's go
with
Buffalo. You
let's go
never know
Buffalo.
with
I think they
Kansas
need it.
City. You know they play every game so close. So a couple of those games could bounce the wrong way, and uh, you
Yeah.
know there's always a
Yeah.
possibility of them losing that top seed. But we'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
taking a risk, right? Taking a risk. Pittsburgh at Philly.
All
Beginning of the
right.
year,
Okay,
I
go
don't
for
think
it.
anybody thought that this would be an important game, right?
And look at Mike
But
Tomlin. Look at Russell
yeah,
Wilson.
man, how has this guy not won more Coaches of the Year awards? Honestly.
Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's taken this team that was not supposed to make the playoffs to
Hmm.
they're in contention for that number 1 spot in the AFC. They probably won't get there as well cuz Casey's that good, but they're 10-3 and I'm taking
No
them to
one
beat
expected it.
Philly. I'm absolutely taking the to beat Philly because they can stop the run. That is Philly's
Mm,
game. That is Saquon
I
Barkley.
like that
Saquon
take.
Barkley will
I like
still
that
do
take.
okay, but I think Pittsburgh's built to beat Philly because Jalen Hurts can't throw the
I,
ball downfield.
I like that take. I really like that take. You can see that Philly really starts to get going once Saquon gets the ball more. You saw that in the second half of the last game. he started getting the ball more. The offense started having more rhythm. He shut down that run. Yeah, Hurts can't get anything going right now. It feels like so. I like the
Philly's
Pittsburgh call.
favorited by 5 points. That's
Perfect,
unbelievable to me.
perfect. I mean, part of it is that they're home too. Right? I
Yeah.
think that's part of the sway. Um,
5 is
yeah,
a
I
big
think
number.
Pittsburgh has. You kind of look at this team, and solid defense, a quarterback with a big arm, a good running game. Reminds you of the Ben Roethlisberger kind of Pittsburgh Steelers a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of built
Yeah.
that way. So I think they're going to make some noise. Plus, if we have Detroit losing and then Philly losing, that's the top there, kind of all falling in line here. Could be some gain for Minnesota. And another divisional game here on the Monday nighter is Chicago at Minnesota. I think this is a big game for Mini, from my
Yeah.
perspective,
Yeah.
because
I
they could
think
really be heading into the weekend saying, "Hey, we saw some guys at top drop some games. Our chance to make a bit of a push here." And Sam
like
Darnold's playing great.
props to Sam Darnold. Like I did not think the Falcons actually pressured him quite a bit. They got 4 sacks on him,
Hmm,
and he handled that pressure with 5 touchdowns. Like unbelievable last week. So
unbelievable.
he's balling out. I feel bad for the Bears. They're cursed. They have something in their aura that just doesn't let them win. But yeah, this will help with Minnesota's to show if they're really that team, if they are that good.
Mm,
So
they got to
they
put
need to be
killer
able to take
instinct
care of
down.
the bad teams. Yeah, they ought to have the killer instinct. So yeah, let's go Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, think about early in his career, Sam Darnold would probably have folded under the pressure there.
Oh
Right, gets hit a
yes.
couple times, becomes more hesitant, doesn't stay in the pocket as long. Now you see the evolution of his game, and it's a real not warning, but a good story about these guys who are expected to produce right away, but it takes some time. The quarterback
Mm-hmm.
is a tough position. Tough position. Okay, and for the most boring game of the night, Atlanta at Vegas, the
Yeah,
Monday
I think it's
nighter.
pretty easy. I think Atlanta will take them. Las
Yeah,
Vegas
I
lost
think so too.
their backup quarterback now, who's already Aiden O'Connell. I believe he's done as well. So I think Atlanta needs this for sure. Where they're sitting
I
at
think
in the
Kirk Cousins
standings
needs
here,
this. Kirk
Atlanta's
Cousins needs
6 and
this.
7. Yeah, they will be. They're fighting for that top dog in the
Yeah,
NFC South with the Buccaneers. So yeah, they need it. Yeah, Kirk Cousins, lock it in. He played a little bit better this last week over
yeah.
the past few weeks. So I think Kirk will get
Well,
it.
there's
They'll
been
put it
talk
back
about
together.
if they lose this game, flipping over to Penix,
Yeah.
bringing the young guy in, and maybe even cutting Cousins in the summer. Like that could be. So I think there's a lot riding on this game. And if Cousins can
Yeah.
come through and have a really strong game, lead them to a win, it quiets a lot of the haters here. Okay. So, all right. Our picks for week 15 are as San Francisco 49ers, Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going with Green Bay over Seattle, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Atlanta Falcons. There you have it. We'll lock them in. Lock them in.
Lock it
I think we're going to do
in.
much better this week. I think we're going to go 5-1. I don't know what the one's going to be, or yeah, we're going to go 5-1. That's my guess.
Did we choose 6
That's my
games?
guess.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, we did. Okay. It's
Yep.
a Sports Rev 6. Let's go.
Sports Rev 6. Yeah. Sports Rev 6 because of the double Monday Nighters.
Beauty.
All right. Okay. With the football talk, we flip over to the NBA Cup.
Woo.
Uh, still weird to say that. Still weird to say that. But I will say it's done what it's supposed to do. Generated some interest in the earliest part of the year. Typically, I don't pay attention to basketball until Christmas Day when you're eating full, watching basketball on TV. So, Elijah, get ready. Full day of basketball, regardless of what mom wants. We have Orlando at Milwaukee Tuesday night. What's your pick? Who you thinking?
Yeah, I'm all in on Milwaukee. I think they're
Yeah, I figured.
Giannis is
I figured.
it goes with Giannis until he injures himself, and right now he's healthy.
Mm.
So I'm going all Giannis.
Hey, Dame's playing great too.
Yeah,
Dame's playing really
absolutely.
well too. So there's again, we talked about this last week. They've gone on a really big run since the abysmal start of the year. Um, it's going to be a fight all the way through, I think, for them, with the depth pieces and trying to get Middleton back in. But yeah, I think Milwaukee beats Orlando. It'll be close, but I think they come out on top. I believe the other game tonight is Dallas at OKC on Tuesday night. This
Wow.
should be a fun one. This should be a fun one, I think.
Wow.
Um, What do you think? What do you
I don't
think?
know. I think I'm going to go with OKC. I think, but yeah, especially if OKC beats Dallas, this could be the kind of tipping point. Apparently, Jimmy Butler is on the market from Miami. Dallas is one of the suitors. This will kind of show
So is
because
Golden State.
OKC's this is without Chet, right? OKC still has Chet injured. So if they lose, Dallas will say we need to bolster their roster and they could go after Jimmy Butler. So I'm hoping OKC wins.
I'm hoping OKC wins too. I think Jimmy Butler's an odd fit. He's already come out and said that he's going to opt out of his contract next year. Of $50 million. I don't know who's paying Jimmy Butler at age 35, 36 more than that, right? Because yeah, he's getting about 20, I think it's 26-4, which is a pretty good stat line, but he hasn't won anything for you, right? He's not the top dog that he used to be. A lot of distractions come with Jimmy. So would he be a good fit in Dallas? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Depends what they give up. But yeah, I don't know. I still think OKC is going to win. I think Shai's just going to rip through Kyrie. Because Kyrie can't guard him.
It's going to be fun to watch for sure. Fun to watch.
Fun game for sure. Yeah. A bit more of a boring game. Atlanta at New York. Not as flashy, but I think New York's going to take this one.
Yeah,
I think
I'm with you.
They're gunning for this one.
Absolutely. Jalen Brunson, Cat are the only players in the Eastern Conference averaging over 25 points and 40% 3-point shooting. So that's pretty impressive. They're kind of gelling. I like New York. I just think they need some depth pieces, as I've said before. So all in on New York.
Yeah. I think Cat has fit faster than many people expected, including us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they were to win the Emirates Cup this year, it would be a really big boost for their playoff chances.
Yeah,
or even if they get to the
absolutely.
finals, I think because if they go through Milwaukee and they beat Milwaukee, that's a big mental hurdle, I think, heading into the rest of the year. And the last game on Wednesday night, Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets. Who'd
The
have thunk
other
it?
two
Golden State
suitors
running
for
12
Jimmy
guys.
Butler.
Yeah.
Sorry?
He is from Houston.
Houston's been a great surprise. They've been very good.
Yep.
They're favored to win. But you know what?
Really?
Yeah, they're favored by 2 points to win. Golden State has that one factor. His name is Steph Curry. And these games, I think he's really pursuing winning this cup. I think he finds value in it. So I think he's going to put all he has into winnings. So I'm going Golden State.
I'm Golden State. I like it. I know Houston's long, they're young, athletic, but if you're picking between Freddie and Steph, I think Steph's going to win that matchup every single day of the year. So no offense to Houston, but I think Golden State takes this. But I think they're taking a really interesting approach that you haven't seen in a long time, running about 10, 11 guys consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing well. They moved Draymond to the bench. Minga's now starting.
Yeah.
So big move. And we'll see how this goes. Because, playoff time comes, rotations get tighter. Can guys still stay ready if they're playing half the minutes they're used to playing? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but I think Golden State takes it. So let's just say we got Milwaukee, New York. We'll go Dallas and Golden State. Who are you picking to go to the finals for the cup?
Ooh, that's so tough. I'm going Milwaukee versus.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's going to be Golden State. Okay. I'm going wild here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going wild there. I'll go New York and I'll go New York and Golden State. That's what I think.
Okay. We're writing off Dallas. Okay. I don't know why. Oh no, we're writing off OKC.
Yeah, we are. Honestly, I think without Chet, they're a different team.
That's true.
Right? He brings the length, but also brings the spacing that really helps things move through. Hartenstein is great. I think he's really good, but he's no Chet.
It's interesting. We know Shea can get you 30. Oh wow, I got the zoom going in here. We know Shea can get you 30. Yes. But can he get you the 40 that we need? Right? That's I think the next step in his game.
Yeah.
Can he take it over to that extent and bring him all the way? So he's got to do it.
Great call. The camera knew you were coming with a hot take, so it was a good zoom in. All right. That's our basketball talk for today. Let's go handle some more business. As Dan mentioned earlier in his first monologue, I am a coach on the stock market, and I've been doing this since 2008. Train to Invest has been around since 2004, helping thousands and thousands of clients over that time period learn about how to trade in the stock market on their own, get rid of their broker, and generate financial freedom and a second source of income and prepare for retirement. So there's a lot of things you can do with your capital. Um, and a lot of times, many times, no one has any idea about what to do other than the tried and true method of give it to a broker who's going to put it into a giant mutual fund and earn you a very minuscule return. There is a better way. Self-directed investing has come leaps and bounds since 2008, and with updated technology and updated learning, we are here to teach you the skills necessary to not only increase your trading account, keep yourself stable and within the trading rules, but also go for your future dreams. And if you want to learn more, check us out at www.train2invest.com, train2invest.com. Download our free ebook. Read us what it's all about, understand the markets a little bit. If you got questions about your return or what is inflation and am I actually going to be ready to retire, we are here to help. We're here to help to make sure that you are ready for all of your goals, whether it's a wedding, a trip, your son or daughter's university bill, or just coming towards 65 and you want to know, hey, can or can I not retire? So we're here to help. Check us out, and I'd love to connect with you and make sure that you are a right fit for what we're trying to do. All right. So we had some business, we had some basketball, football talk. Now time for the best part of the show, I think. As always, the real talk section. And my title this is "What Do You Treasure?" And as we were talking pre-show, I think you came up with a couple examples of like when you're sending reels to your friends, or if you're showing something to your wife, maybe a YouTube short or video, and you think it's amazing, you think it's hilarious, and you just want to share that with somebody because you think it's, this is a 10 out of 10 content. And then sometimes you share that with somebody and they don't quite have the reaction that you are expecting. It's a bit of a disappointment. But sometimes they're right on board, they laugh with you, they have they just that deep belly laugh and they probably snort or whatever. And it's like, yes, this is what I came for. This is what I came for. So I think it's funny what people all across the spectrum think about as treasure, right? You look at somebody who's lived in downtown Toronto for a long time. They treasure that ability to, take a 4-minute Uber to different places or their walkability score. Somebody who's lived in Winnipeg, they're like, man, thank goodness for heated steering wheels and seats. So what are some of the trivial, not trivial, but some of the easier surface level things that you treasure, or somebody in your group treasures that you can point out?
Yeah. I love sending the videos and seeing videos. I do hate when someone says, you got to watch this YouTube video. It's only 8 minutes long, right? I really care about it. Yes. I'm going to spend all that time watching that video. One thing I've always treasured was basketball. Obviously, I love sports. I've treasured basketball. My friends, we treasure basketball. Yeah, I'll say this. It took the hand of God telling me that, yeah, you suck at basketball. You're not good enough. You got to let it go. That can't be your great treasure anymore. And that's kind of where it was for me. That was my greatest treasure. And it's like a smack on the head from God saying, yeah, it's not about your height. There's lots of guys under 6 feet in the NBA. It's about your skill level. It's about your dedication. And it was a hard thing to understand that I don't really treasure it the way I should. And maybe my treasure for it is misguided. So that's what I will say. Man, that's a sermon right there. I guess I know what I'm preaching on Sunday.
Yeah, you locked it in for Sunday.
Yikes.
I would say the way that Leanna treasures Kobe is 1000% different than the way I would treasure Kobe. And
Kobe's my dog, by the
bed,
way, not
yeah,
the
Kobe's a
basketball
dog, by the
player.
way.
I treasure the
Yeah.
basketball player.
When he's farting in the bed, I don't find it nearly as cute. That's for sure. Not nearly as cute. Let's flip to athletes.
Okay.
On the professional side, you can kind of see different guys and gals treasure things. For example, let's just take Caitlin Clark in the WNBA.
Hmm,
It
great.
seems, I know. It seems like Caitlin just loves to play.
Yes.
But there's other women on the court who are more concerned about private charters than playing basketball. Or we'll go back to the other side of things. You look at Damian Lillard in Portland. He always talked about winning and making Portland his home and giving back to the community, which he does give back to the community for sure. I know that's a big thing of what he does. But when the dude takes up 60% of your salary cap, how can you build a winner? And you see a lot of this in pro athletes and pro sports is they get their bag, and all of a sudden the things that they prioritize are completely different, or the way that they're talked about changes as well.
That's why, can we give a shout out again to Jalen Brunson? That's why I'm all in on this New York Knicks team. They've come up short in the playoffs. Even with all these other factors, he deserves the max dollars with the way he plays.
Mm,
Unbelievable player. Takes huge pay cut so he can bring on better players to join the team because he treasures winning. He treasures that what they're competing for as the greatest
absolutely.
priority. So shout out the Knicks. I'm all in on those Knicks. I really like them.
You love the Knicks. That's gonna be so happy.
Yeah.
And that I think it's interesting because when we talk about legacy of athletes, the first thing we always talk about is how many championships do they have. At the end of the day, we never talk about how much money they made, right? Unless it's a detriment to the team building that we talk about in the NBA and stuff. But it's always about how many chips do they have, right? We look at Jordan. He's 6 for 6. LeBron, he's what 4 for 10, right? So you look at that and you're like, man, what if athletes really cared about winning as much as they say they do? Why don't you see more guys like Shohei, who's deferred a lot of his salary? I see guys like Jalen Brunson taking a pay cut. Why don't we see more of that coming through? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to pride. A lot of it comes down to,
Hmm.
I'm the player that's a max dollar player, and that means that comes with the status, that comes with the extra house in the Poconos, and all the extra riches. Even though one guy's making 50 million, the other guy's making 35 million. Like it's really, I don't know. They're so blinded by it, I guess. And I can't put myself
Hmm.
in that situation, right? I've never
Well,
had that contract offer of $50 million a year. What was Juan Soto making per hour for the next 15 years?
almost 6 grand.
Almost $6,000 an hour. That's more than my monthly income. And he's making that in an hour. Like it's just unbelievable how great these contracts are. But yes, it's the
Hmm.
focus on winning there, and obviously that's the lifestyle and how it totally changes not only their current it's the future of their family's bloodline. That money has changed their
Yeah,
life forever.
generational wealth for sure.
Generational wealth. So yeah, it's a lot of it's pride, a lot of it's being blind to what's important, and yeah, maybe that's what they view as more important, right? They're getting their money for the bloodline of their family, than even though the 35 million a year is still going to be generational wealth for them, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
and winning on top of that gives you more opportunity for greater wealth, I would say, right? I don't think Michael
yeah.
Jordan would be the highest selling brand of athletics if he wasn't the greatest, right? So there you go.
Right. Yeah. Like I mean, you look at it and it just feels like talk is so cheap. And on the one hand, there's the love for sports that we as consumers have, and fans have. On the other side, there's the big business that comes with it as well. And teams can cut athletes left, right, and center, or they can trade them without their consent for a lot of times. In the NFL, you can be cut the week after, right? There's the guaranteed income is very low. So there's the business aspect to the side that people always argue about, but then there's the I think if I was an athlete and I was worried about my legacy, it's about winning, right? Not just winning the negotiation battle, but how many rings can I put on my finger? When they look back on the history of what I've contributed to the sport, what have I done? Like LeBron James has been incredible as an athlete. Sidney Crosby, incredible. You look at all the baseball guys. Like there's so many, like Aaron Judge and Mike Trout. But there's so many examples of athletes putting money ahead of winning. Like I don't think like Mike Trout for the longest time was thought about as the next guy, and he's never won a World Series. Does this tarnish his image? Yeah, I think so. As the best baseball player ever, I think big time, because he could have won. He could have gone to somewhere like in New York or the LA Dodgers or somewhere after they wasted a lot of time in LA with the Angels, and he could have won a few full series rings. We'd be talking about, hey, best player ever.
Could have gone or taken less money to bring other players in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, they tried with him, they brought Shohei in and didn't quite work out. But I think we have to look at it as what do you treasure? And we talk about flipping that to the faith style or faith aspect of life. What's important?
And I'll say this: I think all of this, it starts at the grassroots level, right? Look at the
Mm.
kids in sports right now. The AAU basketball, the little Tykes
Oh.
football. It's absolutely toxic what they're teaching them, right? It's me first, not team first. It's
Mhm.
my stats, my legacy, my way to get to the next level. And it's such a brutal way to learn the game, right? We got these players, learning how to dribble behind the back and do a pull up off one leg before they can do a proper left-handed layup through contact, right? That's the
Yeah.
absolute truth. I witnessed this, right? With the kids downtown in Toronto, right? They have barely any fundamentals, all the talent in the world, all the athleticism in the world, but they've been just taught the wrong way. And
Yeah.
you see that
Yeah.
with, at the take sports out of it. You see this in life. You see this in school. It's a less on the values. The biblical values are being pushed down, and the self-centered values are being, do what I want, do what you feel, do whatever makes you feel better, and that's going to give you your joy and peace and contentment. When at the grassroots level that's being taught, what do you think is going to happen when they get older? It's going to get even worse and magnified. So that's the problem of where it starts. That's why we run a program like Urban Hope, to help battle against these kinds of things, what they're being taught in media and schools and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. An amazing point, because we're in this time of society where participation is rewarded as something amazing. And not there's anything wrong with, a kid going out, when they're little, trying and getting a little ribbon. Nothing wrong with that. But the message that we want to send is excellence, and the pursuit of excellence is what's important. And when you bring up the AAU circuit and all that, I think one of the biggest blessings was getting cut for the grade 7 and 8 team, because I learned how to handle disappointment. I learned how to handle, okay, this is what I wanted, didn't get it. How do I do better for next time? Right? A lot of kids today, if they get disappointed or something doesn't go their way, they either pout or they give up. And then we're teaching them that through social media, where you just see highlights on highlights on highlights. You see, guys talk about working out with Kobe and Hakeem Olajuwon and all those greats, but that's just a small factor, right? It's more about, hey, what kind of car are you driving? Are you taking pictures in a private jet? Whatever, those kind of things. And it's about the here and now, not about putting in the hard work. Like Steph Curry didn't become Steph Curry just because he was born. Yes, there's an intrinsic uh, DNA makeup for him, for sure. But he put in a ton of work, right? After the first couple of years, everybody thought, oh, this guy's going to be out of the league in no time.
Mm-hmm.
He was injury prone. He was skinny. He was small, but he didn't give up. He worked. He worked. He worked. He kept shooting, kept shooting, kept shooting. And now it's hard to not put him on the top of Mount Rushmore. He changed the way the game is played, just like Jordan did. And some say it's for the better, some say it's for worse, but he changed the way the game is played. Now, not everybody can shoot like Steph Curry, and not everybody should be shooting like Steph Curry, but there's work to be put in. You don't talk about that. You just talk about, oh, he's pulling up from half. How cool does that look? And you're right, it comes down to the foundation of what do you treasure? What do you value? And how do you teach that to um, the younger generation? How do you teach that in a way that they're going to learn and understand? And how do you model that in your own life is also
Yeah.
important.
The first greatest commandment that is in scripture, the greatest commandment is love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, all of your strength, all of your mind, everything that you got. Love God. That is that is everything. And if you
Mm.
don't do that, you're not living up to it. And when you don't treasure God, a lot of people like Jesus, a lot of people get inspired by him, but do you really love him? Do you really treasure him above all things? And when you treasure him, the evidence of that is sharing it, right? You want to share
Yeah.
the things, the thing you treasure the most, you want to share it with the people you love, the people that you want to hear things. You know, when I was so excited about seeing even Gladiator the first time, I'm pretty sure I watched it with you, Coach, with you,
Yeah.
Joel.
Yeah.
And I loved this movie. It was my favorite movie. You can remember the music, the beheadings. It was awesome. I'm ready to see
Yeah.
Gladiator too. I had to say to all my friends, "You got to see this movie. We got to watch it again." And I remember watching it with 4 different friends at 4 different times because I love the movie so much. You treasure it. You share it. That's what you have to
Yeah.
do with your faith. You know, that's what we want to be here to. We want to encourage you to treasure the Lord with everything you have and don't keep it to yourself, because that's the second greatest commandment, is to love your neighbor as yourself, to love others the way God loves you. That's the motto at our church. Love God, love others. It comes after the first and second greatest commandment.
Yeah. And that's absolutely correct. And you don't need to be an eloquent speaker. You don't need to be somebody with a big bank account. You don't need to be somebody famous to share uh, about Jesus. People don't want to hear that necessarily. They want to hear it from you as their friend. They want to see it in the way that you live. They want to see it in when how you deal with them when they come to you with problems, or when they're sad, or when they're happy. Look at the disciples, right? They're a bunch of fishermen, and one was a tax collector, and there was no prince among them. There was no judge. There was no somebody with heavy political aspirations or influence or sway. They're just regular people. If you look at all throughout the Bible, God used Moses as a stutterer, right? Look at, David was like the smallest of all his brothers, right? God doesn't need you to be grandiose. He just needs you to be obedient and open. And we've been talking about the last, I don't know how many months now, right? Just being open and sharing and praying for that opportunity. It's not logic anymore. What's the word now? What's the actual word?
Logicized.
Logicized, right? You never you're never going to logicize something to the kingdom, like you've said over and over again. It's about relationship, and it's about taking the opportunity to share. Like you said, if you love something, if you cherish it, if you think it's really important, like how fast are we to send reels on Instagram, right? We
Every day.
share things all the time, right? We have that group chat with Todd, and it's just like bing, 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 bing. It's crazy. But how much? And I mean, it's a little different for you a little bit because you're a pastor. But how often do we think about, oh, should I say something about Jesus? Should I raise my hand? Should I speak out about this? I don't want to offend anybody, but it shouldn't matter. If we're
If
talking with love,
yeah,
you're
and
talking with love, and you're talking truth. That's yeah. I want to hear your point here.
yeah, what you hit on right there is perfect. That's exactly it. It's in a culture that is so anti-Christian, so anti anything of
Yeah.
God. And this is the time we are called to share, the call to let people know about the gospel message. And what's that footballer, the footballer that wore the had to wear the armband
Oh,
that the
Mark
and had the
Louis.
Christian message on it? Can you just share about that?
Yeah, yeah. So let's look up who he plays for. But this English Premier League footballer, Mark Gui, I'm probably butchering his last name, but that's okay. And he plays for Crystal Palace. And so they had their Pride um, event or whatever, and he donned the rainbow colored captain's band, but on the band he put "I love Jesus," right? And everybody, the rainbow isn't co-opted by the LGBT plus blah blah blah. They're not. It doesn't belong to them. But he puts "I love Jesus," and he's getting flack because he is a number one. They're not supposed to do anything political, but again, celebrating inclusiveness is kind of political. Um, he is getting flack because it's not being inclusive to other footballers who might be whatever sexuality they are. But he found a way to be a Christian in that moment and to proclaim it. Right. What's interesting is that the Muslim guy on the other team who was the captain, he just wore a black armband, right? Because he doesn't believe in that style, which is fine, right? He took a stand on his own. But the point of the story is you would never hear about the Muslim captain because it's so anti-Christian. And he wasn't going up there on after the game denouncing anybody, cursing anybody out, saying this is wrong, you're all going to hell. He just said, "Hey, I love Jesus. Let's play some football or soccer, as they call it over here."
Yeah. And this is the what's been cool has been the culture that's been developing with Christians. It's really kind of separating the hot and the cold Christians, the ones that
Mm,
are really all in, that really treasure the Lord. They're the ones standing up and saying these amazing messages and encouraging in a loving way. And that's what we are called to do. So that's our encouragement for anyone tuning in today is
yeah,
we share the truth in love. We tell them, go follow Jesus. And then we do our best to walk with him. And you wash, rinse, repeat. That's what we keep doing. That's
yeah,
our strategy. That's what we encourage you to do, encourage us to do as we move forward.
yeah. That's 100% true. And you're seeing a groundswell of faith coming out in sports. For a long time, it was always BLM or LGBTQ plus whatever. Um, all that used to be, hey, let's celebrate this. But you're seeing guys like CJ Stroud. You're seeing a lot of athletes come out and post on their Twitter or Instagram. Coaches come out. You saw
Mm-hmm.
them having praise and worship at the Olympics, right? Which is crazy because at the Olympics, the main story was sports and all the athletes hooking up in the athletes village.
Yep.
That was always the main thing. And all of a sudden, you're hearing like people from all across the world speaking different languages, competing against each other, coming together to worship God. That's incredible. So, and let's be honest, most of these athletes in the Olympics are just regular everyday people. They're not superstars, right? I don't know too many uh, shot put guys off by heart, but people are just worshiping God. And that challenge I think is an encouragement, like you said, is just go out and try and be open and just say, hey, God, give me an opportunity. And based on life experiences that I've seen, you ask for an opportunity and he'll give it to you. Then the ball's really in your court to go and take it. Last words to you, Dan. Um, yeah, let's just wrap it up.
Yeah, that's be encouraged. Be encouraged to go and share. Be good, encouraged in faith to go share. Because
Mm,
when you treasure God with all that you have, don't forget this. When you treasure Him with all that you got, it's going to happen where you share it with everyone you know. So that's the evidence of you treasuring God with all that you have.
absolutely. Absolutely. So be encouraged, folks. Sports Rev family, be encouraged. Take that leap of faith because you never know what kind of week you're going to have and how you're going to impact somebody's life. And you never know if you're going to be the one planting the seed, watering the seed, or reaping the harvest. So check us out on Twitter. Check us out, or I guess on X, on Instagram. For all you old heads, check us out on Facebook. Like, subscribe, share it with people. Everything's in the YouTube as well. Uh, let's crack the algorithm, right? Let's crack the algorithm. Let's get this sent out. And let's get other Christians engaged and spread the word of God out to others as well. So that's it for us, guys. Have a great week. Look forward to hearing some positive stories of people taking opportunities and seeing what God can really do. Peace.
Peace, world.